Hello there, welcome back to Convective Nowcast discussion. It's been a minute again, but we're back. But we're coming back with a complex severe weather episode really coming in through this evening. High uncertainty really of what is really going to happen. I think we're finally going to begin to really see some severe potential to really increase right now. Actually, we're seeing some thunderstorms actually going up over in southeastern Nebraska right now. See one lone storm right now. We have a shortwave approaching, but right now we have an enhanced risk, broad 2%, damaging winds. I think a more widespread damaging wind threat if we really see this potential high-end MCS really begin to take place. And as well as some significant hail, especially initially prior to upscale growth, but I think really it's going to be quite quick, so that's going to really temper the hail threat as well, given the high moisture. We're going to take a look at CONUS. We'll give it a little bit of some background, really. And this is a pretty classic ring of fire setup. Broad upper level anticyclone sitting over in the southwest. And then overall, we have pretty much over top this ridge axis. We have broad upper level low up in Canada. There's no nodal flow between these two features. And we have a shortwave trough pretty much over the central plains, northern plains. That's going to shift eastward, and you can see that thunderstorm explode right now. And just because of the high instability, we have a high quality moisture. Thanks to evapotranspiration, or hope that's pronounced, but and then as well as some warm air advection. That's pretty much pulling that moisture right along the boundary that's pretty much draped over the region. We'll take a look at the surface map, but for right now, sort of the upper air right now, we'll take a look at the floater in a minute. We'll get pulled up. We'll move on to the surface pattern real quick, though. I lied. But you can see that thunderstorm really begin to really explode. You see a little bit, some agitated cumulus over western Nebraska. I think this is sort of going to be a focal point, really, where we can see some potential really thunderstorms really explode. We have that dew points well in the upper 70s, potentially low 80s, like I mentioned, and then you can see that as well as some agitated cumulus. We're seeing some scattered showers over the region. We have some pretty decent forcing thanks to the shortwave. And this is definitely going to set up a concerning scenario, especially given how cams are still haven't really caught up to, you can't really grasp at what's going on. Surface pattern, you have that cold front, west to east boundary, where that moisture is really pooling, and right along that boundary you see those 70s, mid to upper 70s, 80s dew points in some spots. So that's quite something. We'll go and I pretty much. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, we'll take a look at mesoanalysis. Take a look at 500 millibars. We can pretty much see exactly what's going on right now. Broad upper levels, pretty much what I already mentioned. We have a shortwave coming in. You see that high instability. And okay, we're seeing mixed large cave values over 4,000 joules per kilogram, widespread, with some areas of up to 5,000 joules per kilogram CT contoured. And this is setting up a quite potent scenario, really. If shear is going to be pretty much again, most of it's going to be further up to the north, maximized for the north, but I'm not too concerned about that at all. I think we'll be fine. We'll live. Or at least it will live with the shear. We can take a look. This is a pretty good measure of cold pool potential, and you can see it's maxed out over western Iowa until over eastern Nebraska too, and right along really that where that instability is maximized too. So this is gonna set up quite a potent scenario if we get an MCS really. Well, we might take a look at this is gonna be quite short, but this is 19Z her. We'll take a look at the last 3 runs. Pretty much right now it's pretty much resolving the environment, but then it kind of mixes sort of what it tends to do, and that's why I think it's not gonna have a great handle really of intensity. Really shows pretty much storms really beginning to get going. Don't think they're really gonna fade at all. I think they're gonna really sustain and potentially grow upscale. That's sort of what I'm leaning towards right now. And so pretty much after 0Z, you can see supercells begin to really for more widespread once that little jet begins to get going, which is rather modest, but see pretty much cluster up into a pretty decent MCS as it moves into Nebraska, Indiana, and Ohio. That's sort of what they're showing right now. And sort of the same scenario. I do wonder what's going to happen over in Nebraska late tonight. It doesn't really resolve. I think it's going to be a little bit weaker than what it shows right now. Or it's not, or just it's not entirely exist. It's really going to be highly dependent. If we see a high end really MCS really develop tomorrow morning, or at least something severe, it sort of just depends. And we'll go to 17Z. Again, sort of the same thing. Last 2 runs though really started to focus really more on further west, really for at least some initiation, which is I'd say it's a good sign. Really, it's really struggled given the really weak forcing that's in place. But that's sort of where we're at right now. I'm probably gonna come back soon enough. But in the meantime, that's sort of how we are. And I do expect initiation to come pretty soon out west, really soon. And probably we'll see. We'll be back again later this evening if there's any time. But for now, I'm just gonna probably just keep watching this.